as you say, Gus, and there's been so much talk about this Queensland side. A lot on the field, a lot for off it as well. Paul Green as coach. What happens to him after this series? Because even he's alluded to the fact that he's not committed to 2022 entirely yet.
Oh, they'll be making a change. He won't be going around next year. I just can't see that that's possible, regardless of the result in Game 3. I think the whole Queensland camp selections and the way they've carried themselves, even the way they behaved after the game too. Like he and the captain, there was just no positivity from them whatsoever. He didn't show leadership to me. You know, I'm not anything against Paul. He's been a great coach. He's a premiership winning coach. But he's just handled this assignment really badly, and you can't do it at this level. You've got to get it right.
There was talk over the weekend, Gus, that Paul Vaughton said on ABC that Billy Slater was approached for the Queensland job and then was asked to come in for an interview and didn't then obviously want to do that, go through that process. Is Billy Slater ready to coach at the Origin Arena?
Well, look, the Origin is, it sort of invites, particularly at Queensland, it invites ex-players, successful ex-players to come back and do the job. Because they're a group anyway, they all pitch in, they're all going to put their shoulder to the wheel and support him. It doesn't really matter whether it's Wayne Bennett or Mal Meninga or Paul Vaughton or Michael, it doesn't really matter who coaches Queensland, they've always got the support of everyone else around them. The New South Wales coach at times can be very isolated, but Queensland, it's always a group effort. No one knows Origin as well as Billy Slater. You know, it's whether or not, you know, the nuances of actually preparing a team over that week and bringing them in for the contest, whether or not he'll get all that right, but he'll have plenty of support around him. I wouldn't do it on his own. He would have to have others involved with him.
Is that the dream team? Cameron Smith, JT,
well,
Billy
yeah, everyone's saying that, but you know, it's they've got to have cattle to work with too.
I was about to say, I think they're forgetting who they're playing against here. They're playing against probably the best New South Wales side we've seen, the most potent New South Wales side we've seen anyway. Yeah. So I mean, I don't know Paul Green either, but I think everyone's been a little bit harsh. Maybe some of his things around Ken, press conference the other day, it didn't look ideal, but you have a look at the cattle he's worked with, the cattle he's playing against. I think it may be a little bit of...
Paul, they haven't handled it well. They haven't handled it well.
But, guys, what I'm saying, I don't care who's coaching them. Put Billy Slater, they put Cameron Smith there. Doesn't matter who's coaching. I don't think the results change.
I don't think the results would have changed.
I don't think they changed.
There have been things within the camp that just haven't been well handled. They haven't been professional at all. You can't deny that. And I'll even go back to the selection of young Reece Walsh for the second game. It was just a terribly weak act from the leadership team. And the way he performed at the press conference after Game 2 just smacked of a bloke who's just totally out of his depth at that level.
The one thing
that's a funny story. We thought Billy Slater's a selector, isn't he?
Yep.
So wouldn't have Billy been part of that decision?
I don't know what Billy does with the Queensland side.
I'm sure he's a selector.
One thing Gus mentioned, Gal, was Cherry Evans. Is he in the firing line if they don't get the job done on Wednesday night?
I don't know. Why? Who's going to replace him?
Well, as captain, mate, more so as a halfback. Sam Walker's coming through. He's probably a couple of years away, but...
Well, what's Cherry Evans done wrong? What has he as a leader?
He won them a series last year and lifted the shield.
Well, as a leader, mate, I'd love Cherry Evans and me have a little bit of banter back and forth. I'd love to sit here and give it to him. But as a leader, what hasn't he done for Queensland? You know, as I said, the cattle that he's playing with, just New South Wales are too good at the moment. They got them covered. I'd love to sit here and bag of Queensland, but I can't. I'm being upfront and honest with my answer as I do. As a leader of Queensland, I don't see what else could. Maybe after Game 2, as Gus said, he was a little bit despondent. He was, and so was the coach, but just been smacked and lost the series in the Origin game. I can understand that from a captain. Maybe the coach should have done a little bit better, but yeah, I don't think he deserves to be axed, no.
Well, but potentially Wayne Bennett, there's a lot of talk about him coming back next year. The NRL seems to have gone cold on expansion given what we're going through at the moment, so that's probably a 2024 project at best. So perhaps
bring
Wayne
them
Bennett.
all back. Bring Cam, bring Billy. Bring them all back. Bring them all back at this time.
All you, mate.